Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is in the US. He's there to negotiate terms to finally end the war with Russia. He's meeting the mediator of the peace talks, US President Donald Trump. But as in all negotiation, there's going to have to be some give and take. What can Ukraine really hope to hold on to? What will it have to sacrifice for the sake of peace? And what happens if Russia rejects Ukraine's offer? Here's a report.
Ukraine is still reeling from the latest Russian attack. Kyiv says that Moscow launched 500 drones and 40 missiles, including the Kinzhal, during its latest barrage. And the target was the Ukrainian capital itself. About 1 million households in Kyiv were left without power. Almost 40% of the residential buildings in Ukraine's capital don't have heating. So it's no wonder that Ukrainians don't have much hope.
I want for this to be over, but this is what our side wishes for. We don't have any leverage in this situation. Thus, I want that everyone stays healthy, strong, and patient now.
Here is the situation on the ground as of December 27th. Large swathes of Ukrainian territory are under Russian control. Moscow's forces have been making slow but steady gains, especially over the last few weeks. And they claim to have seized 2 more towns on Saturday itself.
Troops from the Central Group completed their route of the encircled Ukrainian Armed Forces Group and liberated the city of Dmitrov. The Eastern Group of Forces is advancing westward in the Zaporizhzhia region and also across the Dnipropetrovsk region, with the aim of establishing a security zone there. The city of Huliaipole has been liberated.
He used the Russian names for the Ukrainian towns of Myrnograd and Huliaipole. Myrnograd is in the Donetsk region. Huliaipole is in Zaporizhzhia. Moscow says it's making advances on both fronts. Russian President Vladimir Putin has demanded that Ukraine hand over the entire Donbas region. It is a key Russian goal in the war. Putin wants the Ukrainians to accept Russian terms so that the conflict can finally end. But he doesn't have much hope for a speedy resolution, which is why he also issued a warning.
But we see that unfortunately, the ringleaders of the Kyiv regime are in no hurry today to solve this conflict peacefully. If the authorities in Kyiv do not want to solve the issue in a peaceful way, we will reach all of the goals set in the course of the special military operation by military means.
It is amid this backdrop that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has gone to negotiate with his American counterpart, Donald Trump. He has already floated a number of measures, such as demilitarized zones in contested areas. But he has not agreed to surrender territory yet. The question is, will Putin or Trump accept that? Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
Mr. John Erath is a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation in Washington. He is now joining us live in Washington. Mr. Erath, happy holidays, and it's good to see you. Thank you very much for your time. Let's read between the lines here, because Russia is claiming that they have taken large swathes of territory in Ukraine, and then you have the Ukrainian president in the United States to talk with President Trump. Do you think President Trump will rubber stamp Russia's demands?
I think that the purpose of the talks in Florida today will be to see if there is agreement between the U.S. and Ukraine on terms for ending the fighting. That's clearly the goal. It's very clear that Ukraine is not going to agree to simply hand over territory to Russia, but there should be some sort of interim arrangement and some sort of referendum from the people on the ground. Mm-hmm. So something like this, I think, would be the area for possible agreement. this is, as far as we know, unacceptable to Russia. So it's going to be up to Russia to react, and we don't know what that reaction will be.
Mr. Ereth, now that you've said that, the ball seems to be in Russia's court as we speak. So why is Zelensky in America? Because he has been playing in the same playbook for over a year. He's been going to meet the United States President, Donald Trump. The outcome is the same. Do you think the outcome will be the same today?
I think the outcome will be similar to some of the previous meetings. It seems to be Zelensky's plan to find areas of commonality with the United States, things that can be agreed upon, and present a more united front to Russia. When he first came to Washington at the beginning of the Trump administration and tried to argue with President Trump and say, no, that's not acceptable to us, it went very badly. So he's learned from that experience. Now he knows to look for things where the two sides can agree and to present that united front to Russia.
Finally, Mr. Ereth, if the outcome will be similar to the previous meetings that both President Zelensky and Trump have had, what would you think will be Russia's response going forward? And how do you think the next 1 month will look like?
I think we've already seen Russia's response. Russia didn't wait for the meeting to happen. They launched heavy attacks into Ukraine to show that what is going on in Florida is unacceptable to President Putin and to the Russian leadership. So I think we're going to see more of that. I think Russia is following a strategy of trying to say no to everything in hopes that it will be given more in return for its agreement. So they're going to hold out for a maximalist position and try to see if they can recover all of the land that they're unable to capture by military force.
All right, Mr. John Ereth, it's good to see you. Happy holidays. Thank you for talking to us today.
Happy New Year to you.